Chess Pains is the 18th episode of the third season of Frasier. This is directed by Gordon Hunt, and as always, there will be spoilers as I talk about what happens in the episode and share some thoughts. And I love this episode. Pretty much every scene was really thoroughly enjoyed it. So as I said, there will be spoilers from now. And it starts off with Frasier showing Niles his new antique chess set. And it is absolutely gorgeous. It is so, so stunning. And it's so beautiful, I wouldn't want to touch it. Daphne also asks Niles how he's doing, obviously referring to Maris, and she suggests he gets a dog, which I think is a great idea. And she suggests he goes out with her and Eddie when she takes Eddie for a walk, and it's quite delightful. He does shut the door on Eddie, but other than that, it's very sweet. Frasier then begs Martin to play chess with him, and eventually he agrees, and they play chess, and very quickly, Martin wins, at least very quickly within the episode, and he asks Frasier, is that checkmate? And of course it is. And Martin seems to not know what he's doing. He calls them prawns, for example, which is something I absolutely want to call them by from now on, because that is adorable. And Frasier cannot believe that Martin won. And he meets Roz at Cafe Nervosa. She's going on about getting her hair cut and doesn't know what to say to her hairdresser. Meanwhile, Frasier is still agonising over the fact that Martin won. And I don't think that's a very healthy response, but I imagine if you are somebody who wins all of the time, particularly at something like chess, and then somebody who you don't think is going to be very good wins, that's going to eat away at you. So not healthy, but I can believe the response that he had. And then he decides that it's dumb luck. It has to just be dumb luck. And again, I don't really agree with that either, because I feel like to have a checkmate against somebody who loves and is apparently good at chess on dumb luck, I'm not buying it. But we'll get back into Martin and the chess game in a moment. Niles then presents this dog, and this is such an adorable scene, but also very well done. The dog is somewhat resembling Maris, and I loved Martin's response. The dog was on the sofa with Niles, and Martin comes into the room and is bemused by this sight in front of him. And then Daphne's response is basically, once Niles leaves, to try and figure out if he knows the dog resembles Maris, and he doesn't have a clue. The dog is absolutely gorgeous. It is so beautiful. To have two dogs in a TV sitcom, very, very rare. I would have liked the dog to have interacted with Eddie, but there might have been a reason why he didn't. Maybe the dogs are not good with other dogs, I don't know, but certainly it was very cute. Frasier then manages to persuade Martin to have another game, and Martin checkmates again, and Frasier's response is to go out onto the balcony and scream into a pillow, which actually seems like it would be really cathartic. I think that would be a really healthy thing to do, maybe not for your neighbours who have to potentially hear it, but certainly to release that emotion is probably quite a cathartic thing. We then get another scene with Roz and Frasier, and this is definitely filler. They were definitely including these scenes just to make things move a little more quickly by giving us something a little bit different every now and then. Roz talks about how she told her hairdresser some celebrity gossip, and that gossip was that Frasier used to be a woman. Not the most exciting thing, but as filler, it works well enough. Niles then comes in and kind of suggests to Frasier that he was subconsciously letting Martin win. And I also don't agree with that. What I think is this is a very straightforward episode, apart from the end. Actually, I'll talk about the end in a moment. But generally, I think Martin is good at chess. He beat Frasier fair and square. I think the characters are definitely, Frasier at least, trying to find a reason for this. How could Frasier possibly lose to Martin? But I think it is as straightforward as that. They played chess. Martin was good. Martin was better on this occasion. And he won. And the next thing we know, Frasier is viciously plumping a pillow because he lost again. And this is really getting to him. Daphne tries to cheer him up in, in a delightful way with a sock puppet. But what I love particularly about this, not just the little song that she sings, but to shut the sock puppet up, Frasier clamps her fingers as if closing the sock puppet's mouth. I found that to be very, very fun. And then Frasier gets a little bit desperate. And he tries to wake Martin up. And I think to begin with, it wasn't clear what he was doing. He went in and flicked the lights on and off, and at least to me, that wasn't immediately clear. But then when he tried to get Eddie to speak, and then he set the smoke alarm off, that's a mean thing to do. That's a really horrible thing to do. Nobody should ever do that. But nevertheless, Martin was awake, and Frasier suggests that now that they're all wide awake, why don't they have a game of chess? And Martin sees straight through him. He sees and is outraged that Frasier woke him up to play chess, and he's not going to play. And then Frasier tells him he'll give him $5,000 if he wins. And what happens next is actually really sweet, because we have both of them playing mind games with each other. Eddie is joining in, Eddie is staring at Frasier, to try and throw each other off of their game. That sounds quite negative. But what I love about this is here we have father and son, two people who are, all things considered, generally quite different people. And here they are spending time together and bonding. Even though they seem like they're bickering and trying to get each other wound up and damaging their concentration, they're actually bonding. And they're spending quality time together. And I really thoroughly enjoyed seeing that. I thought it was really lovely. And then Martin makes a move that he instantly tried to retract. I think everybody has done that. It's the most awkward moment because you put the piece down and you realise you shouldn't have done that. But by trying to retract it, I think automatically, like a reflex, you're letting the other player know that you didn't mean to do that. I'm saying this as an amateur who likes to play chess, but I'm not very good at it. I'm assuming the professionals don't do this. But that's such a telltale sign, and Frasier picked up on this, and Frasier won. However, I'm not convinced that Martin didn't do it on purpose. He did swear on Frasier's mother's grave that he didn't let him win, that Frasier did win fair and square. So part of me thinks maybe it was a genuine mistake, but also part of me still thinks that Martin lost on purpose for Frasier's benefit, and also because he wanted to go back to bed. I don't know if anybody has any strong feelings on that. Please feel free to let me know, but I'm kind of in the middle. Part of me thinks because he swore on Frasier's mother's grave, he was telling the truth, but part of me still believes that he let Frasier win. I don't know. If you have any feelings or thoughts on that, please feel free to share. But I love this episode. I think it's an absolute delight. We have some really beautiful moments between Martin and Frasier. Great performances all around. Kelsey Grammer really punching that pillow was something quite energetic, exhausting just watching it. And as somebody, as I said, I like to play chess, but I'm not very good at it. But the chess part of it appealed to me. Whereas if it was literally any other sport, because chess is a recognised sport, I probably wouldn't have cared as much. But I enjoyed this a lot, and I think there are some really great moments, and also Niles' dog is just adorable. And a moment that I didn't write this down in my note actually, but one of my favourite moments is when Frasier is agonising in the background over the chess game, and in the foreground we have Martin playing with Eddie and I think it's his banana toy, and Eddie's like bouncing around and getting all excited, and it's adorable. It lasts about 4 seconds, but it's very, very cute. Solid episode. Needless to say, Chess Pains is pretty fantastic.